And just like that, the European season of League of Legends is officially over. Worlds wrapped up. First Stand, MSI. Now Red Bull, League of its own. The official off-season event that wraps this whole year in a nice little bow. Done. So we can reflect on a lot of it. And honestly, it was a pretty good year for Europe and set a lot of tones that I hope that North America follows going into the future. First, I know this is not necessarily European League of Legends, but this weekend did kick off with the League Awards, which was a fantastic watch. While we weren't able to capture Esports Creator of the Year at the League Awards, I Will Dominate did win that one. There were some fantastic candidates that were all in there, and it is an honor, period, to just be nominated for an award, and something that honestly I strive to achieve next year, but also make it out to the event itself. And the event itself was fantastic. You got to see some of the biggest names in the space just come in, have some drinks, have some food, relax. You got to see Cadril shave his head, which was a fun time. It's just an entertaining show, and they continue to level up each and every year, which is an awesome watch. But the thing with the show this year was that it was combined with Red Bull League of its own. So it was held at the SAP Munich, I think was the arena that it was at, which is also the site of where Red Bull League of its own is, and it kind of gave it this lead in to the event, which was really cool and something that I miss from Worlds. Whenever I preach all the time, for those of you that see my Twitter and be like, hey, one day I'm gonna get a League of Legends music event here in New York City again, especially at Lincoln Center. That's part of what I want to see whenever it comes to Worlds, because now we have this fan meetup thing that you see all the time, which is the massive fan fest. But I want this League of Legends night of music that you can also stream and make this bigger than life thing. And the League Awards into Red Bull League of its own kind of solidified that pillar for me, that the lead-ins to these massive moments are really important and really set the tone. I don't think there's really much else to say on that other than transition that to Los Ratones, who clearly are just the cultural zeitgeist of the League of Legends community. I mean, this year, think about the amount of teams and people that we've seen try to do what they're doing but fail at it. Because Los Ratones started at the end of last year, whenever T1 made sure they were invited to the Red Bull League of its own event, which now has led to its own partnership for Los Ratones and Red Bull. I mean, Near Airport tried and failed miserably compared to Los Ratones, who are literally taking that path. Had Near Airport stuck together, they could have potentially qualified for the LCS and played in it. It's nobody here is thinking that Los Ratones is gonna win the LEC winner split, but it's still cool to watch them play in it. And if you think that Los Ratones wouldn't have wanted to pursue that all the way through, regardless of whether these guys are well past the point where they want to grind 15 hours a day for League of Legends anymore, that's the difference. That's why Near Airport was never going to be what Los Ratones was. But for them to get that Red Bull partnership, I don't think people understand how big that is. Cloud9 used to be sponsored by them, and I know that many other teams still are, obviously, including G2, including T1, who are at this event, hence why it's Red Bull kind of bringing out their teams and showcasing them around, and now introducing Los Ratones into the family. And if there's two teams that I had to sit here and be yeah, this is probably exactly what I would think of when I think of Red Bull. Obviously, they want the top athletes whenever it comes to the X Games and their extreme athletes. But in esports, they also have the top team in T1. But more importantly, the people that drive culture. Because even though T1 is the most winning team and Faker is who he is, and T1 sets this massive tone from the top, I would argue Los Ratones' impact throughout the year, this year, has been insane. Maybe on the same level as T1. T1 obviously in Korea and internationally, they drive headlines all around. But in terms of the underground, the culture that kind of drives everything else besides just the top pro scene, it's Cadril, it's Baus, it's Reckless, it's all of them. They are the type of people that when you ask me who do I think fits well with the Red Bull brand, it's them. Because they are the culture in League of Legends right now. They are setting the tone. And when the conversations happened earlier this year of, if we don't get into LEC, then maybe we'll just tour around and go around. That's the moment I thought, okay, this Red Bull partnership, yeah, that probably might happen. And I'm so glad it did, because it's right where they deserve to be. And I'm curious to see what else comes from it. Obviously, the biggest one so far being the Red Bull League of its own event, which was absolutely incredible. And take that from the words of a fellow esports content creator of the year nominee, Andrew DiStefano, who, to my understanding, I think it's all based on his Twitter. This is the first time that he's ever traveled for a LoL esports event. I don't know whether he just hasn't made it out to LCS finals or not, because I believe he's from America, if I'm not mistaken. I actually don't fully know. I need to look into him. I mean, I assume he keeps way more of his life private than I do in content, so it's not my business to know. But him and I had an exchange earlier today that I really, really appreciated, that I hope more people have this takeaway as we continue to see more road trips across the LEC, events like Red Bull League of Its Own, that we desperately need to push this avenue of esports further, because it is our answer to making sure that we can monetize and actually make this whole thing economically sustainable. Now, I'm aware, and Andrew is aware as well in this exchange, that we are not going to get 12,000 people in arena unless T1 is there. At least in North America. Like that is not happening unless T1 or Los Ratones are there. Now, this event could have been held in America and it would still sell out 12,000 people, to be very clear. I don't care whether it's Germany or beyond. We 100% could have sold out whatever arena they decide to put those two teams in. But it should be a lesson for North America that, yes, we need to get out on the road more. And these types of events solidify love for people and are monetization opportunities that you wouldn't get otherwise. Now, I know that the esports audience doesn't spend all that much money. We know that. Like, the audience has been conditioned not to spend money. Trust me, I see it with the amount of people that are giving crap in the comments about having to pay for Disney Plus for Kespa Cup, which, again, I can't really talk on that all too much. But the thing I would say, if anybody here suggests piracy in the comments like I saw before, just know your comments are getting deleted. You can scream, oh, censorship. Yup. I work for Disney Plus. You think that I'm just going to let that shit go in the comments and just be like, oh, yeah, go ahead? No. If it's a choice between you all and my job, my job. But let's be honest, there have not been all that many touch points for people to buy stuff from teams. Like the merch options, sure, they're online, but like I'm less likely to buy something online than I am if I go to an event. Every time that I've ever gone to an esports event, whether it was ESL 1 New York, Worlds Finals, LCS Finals, I buy something. I always buy something. It's a memory, it's a moment like of that particular thing. So I spend more money whenever I go. Now, I know not everybody's going to do that. Some people will just go and experience the event. Fine, but I think that's going to be more potential to make money from people than you would get just playing everything online and doing all of it online without ever going on the road. And LA is just this doom and gloom hub. Like, it's just the truth of it. So I want to see more of these road trips. And by all means, you have to start by localizing fandom, because what K-Corp has done, I mean, they were at this event in prior years, what G2 has done in terms of mobilizing their fan base across the world, obviously Los Ratones goes without saying, and T1 goes without saying, but you need to see North American orgs understand what their audience is, because right now I don't think they quite frankly do. And this leads into a conversation that I had with Park Mom, who's with FlyQuest, and that is that there's this perception that North American fans are not like European fans. And I think that's because people are stuck in the West Coast bubble. Because today I watched the game, the rivalry, Ohio State, Michigan State. Don't tell me that East Coast rivalries, whether it's that, professional sports between Philly and Pittsburgh, Philly and anything in New York. I mean, you name it, like, we are conditioned on the East Coast to support our teams and ride or die for them. Why? Because they provide value to our city and an experience. Think about what LCS orgs bring to people on the East Coast. Nothing. Like, all of these brands for years have sat here and told us, no, we're going to prioritize international and the world audience. It's like you couldn't even focus on your local audience first before you build on anything else. So I get why people think that, oh, EU fandom's different than NA, because you never fucking catered to us in that way. Okay, the reason why European fans are able to develop their fandom in that way is because they have access to the majority of the people in their continent. When you're stuck in an LA bubble, what are you doing for us over here? People in North America, whether the online community will admit this or not, because I don't listen to people that are terminally online when it comes to this. We want in-person activations. We want that sense of community, the ability to get together, to grab a drink, to go out to an event, to make friends, to make moments and memories all together. And when you're stripping that away, both on the Riot side, and then the teams are looking at Riot being like, well, you need to do something. No, teams, you could do something. You could localize a fandom and start building this out from nothing into something, okay? I hate to keep bringing it back to New York, but like it is the truth of the matter that nobody has actively put resources here to try and make New York their home base. It's not saying you need to play games out of here or your staff needs to be out of here, but at least organize with the bar so we can watch your team's games everywhere. Like, I'll help push that stuff. Develop a New York City specific merch line on top of that. Host local tournaments here. Have an annual event in New York with 2,000 to 3,000 people capacity that we can sell out. If you're telling me that that's not financially possible, like, partner with NYU to get the PCs so that you have the equipment. Hell, just put a fucking projector up on a screen. Like, we don't need all that much. Like, people overcomplicate how much we really need to drive culture and community here in the city. And I understand labor unions make it more expensive. That's assuming that you're going with the massive tech increase cost. But like, I'm sorry, I don't believe anybody on the org side whenever they sit here and say that this stuff isn't possible. It is. You just don't understand your audience. You do not understand the North American audience if you're sitting here and telling me that it's not possible, because it's already been done before. And you just got to figure out how to do it in a modern sense. And none of you can. If we want a Red Bull league of its own, if we want teams that are big enough to be able to do all this stuff, you have to lay the groundwork, and none of them have. But that doesn't mean that we can't. So use this as a learning lesson. Use this as momentum. Don't sit here and say, oh, it's just not possible. It's never going to happen. Find a way to make it work. So many amazing things that have happened in life have come off the shoulders of somebody being told, no, that's not possible, and they do it anyways. Okay? You don't sit here and wait for other people to change it. That'll be a theme in a video that you'll hear on Wednesday as well. But when I watch Red Bull League of its own, when I watch Red Bull Homeground, which was a New York City Valorant event here, I look at all these things and I say, damn, Europe and other esports are just doing it right. And we need to learn the right lessons from them in order to get to that point. Do I have faith in orgs to be able to do that? Not necessarily with the current crop of talent that holds power or positions of power. I'm just being honest, I don't. But I can promise you this, I'm going to fight for it. I'm going to do everything I freaking can to get North America an event like this in the future. Whether that's an off-season event that has no stakes attached, whether that's an off-season event that has a $100,000 prize pool that gets players out and playing in some way, shape, or form separate from the LCS circuit. Like, the Caspa Cup cannot be the only thing that we're doing out here. Okay, we can't be going to Korea. We need to build North American fandom with our North American teams. And we can do that. It just takes a bunch of effort. So yeah, that's a wrap for everything European League of Legends this year. And honestly, I'm envious as an American fan. There's so many lessons that I hope that we all take away from watching the LEC and the various different, like, kind of butterfly effects from that tier 2 and beyond, that we need to try and work towards implementing ourselves or finding the American version of that to implement in North America that will work for us. I'll close this video out by saying a massive thank you to all the European fans who have followed me over the course of this year, whether that's from those Ratones stuff, LEC stuff, World stuff, beyond. Like, I appreciate all you being here. I know, you know, a lot of the things that I say are not necessarily like directed towards you guys. It's more taking lessons from you. But I appreciate that you all are here and enjoy North American content in some way, shape, or form. And imitation should always be a form of flattery, in my opinion. So, you know, don't be surprised if I try and copy a few things, because y'all are doing it right over there.